Thank you, Bill, for those very meaningful remarks, and congratulations again. The 2014 Award for Excellence in Legislative Leadership honors the tradition of statesmanship, integrity, vision, pragmatic leadership, and selfless dedication to improving the lives of all South Carolinians. As you know, this year, it goes to Speaker Jay Lucas. Please join me as we watch a video telling us about the thoughtful and inclusive leadership of Speaker Lucas.
Jay Lucas is a person of enormous intellect, impeccable character, and just uncommon humility. Jay is just a person who cares about everyone, doesn't want to disappoint anyone, and treats everyone the same. Jay has never been a person who sought credit. He was a person, or is a person, who just wanted to get the conversation started for positive change.
I think Jay knows that there is no one person with that bright idea. He realizes that it will take all of us to move South Carolina forward, to take advantage of the opportunities we have before us, and to find answers to the most challenging dilemmas that we have before us right now.
Governance is about reaching consensus, and the only way to truly reach consensus is to bring all parties on board. And so I think for all of us, he helps us in a valuable lesson, and that is what we can do to move the ball forward. And in moving the ball forward, it means bringing all people to the table. And I think if you look at his track record, if you look at what he's been able to accomplish by bringing folks to the table, it truly is remarkable, but I think it serves as a lesson for all of us in how to get things done and how to do it in a way that is both humorous but effective.
Already we've seen him share some of the leadership positions by naming several committees that are very important to moving South Carolina forward, such as roads and bridges, ethics, rules, procedures, and we're working hard on getting those things done.
I watched not only from his past and what he had done, but coming in to this role, the first thing he did was start to dissipate the power of the speaker. Usually people will talk about term limits until they become the one that would be limited. In his case, he limited his own power after becoming speaker. And I think that speaks volumes about who he is. I think if you look at the ad hoc committees that he immediately started forming after becoming the acting speaker, they were bipartisan through and through. He didn't stack any decks against anyone. And I think from his vantage point, he realizes that he is the speaker of the entire House, that it takes all of us to get things done, and he wanted to be the consensus builder of making sure that the House ran about its business, I think, in the best and most effective way, and that's having all people with you.
You know, we would get to some impasses in the road sometimes in the legislature, and I would often see him step up and in his calm way present the issue in only a way that he can present it, and because of the respect that both sides of the aisle have for him, his credibility, his honesty, you know, he was able to galvanize support where it may not have, issues may not have had support, simply because of who he is and what we know that he believes in.
South Carolina is blessed that we have a person of his character and his integrity at the helm of the House of Representatives. He was created for such a time as this, and I think you will see with all of us as he shines through.
I first met Jay Lucas back in 1998 when I had the privilege of supporting him in his first bid to the South Carolina House of Representatives, having won his race then by 22 votes in a recount. And back then, we called him Landslide Lucas. Now we call him Mr. Speaker. Jay, you've come a long way. I had been Speaker 4 years at that point. I remember several things early on about Jay Lucas. He was really interested in making sure that rural communities had a voice in the state legislature, and he was dedicated to being fair, and he was funny. No matter how serious an issue was, and we had plenty of high-profile, divisive issues back then, I remember Jay being upfront and thoughtful about his vote and doing it with a smile. Jay would not hesitate to disagree with you, but would always do it in a very agreeable manner. And it's interesting how first impressions stay with you, and how I now understand that those were so much more than impressions, but rather the measure of a man who would go on year after year to remain thoughtful, to win friends, and win over opponents. A leader who would be called upon to use his good humor and good sense for a time such as this. As my hometown newspaper, the Greenville News, offered an editorial last month, newly elected House Speaker Jay Lucas seems to be the right person at the right time in this state's history for a difficult job. So Jay, on behalf of the Riley Institute at Furman University, it is a great pleasure, a great honor for me that I present to you the 2014 Wilkins Award for Excellence in Legislative Leadership. Congratulations, my friend. I'll take it back.
Let me just thank the Riley Institute for this undeserved, but I can tell you much appreciated award. 30 years ago, as a law student looking for a job, I was at Governor Riley's law firm, and he came in just to shake my hand and said some things to me, and I can tell you that chills ran up and down my spine to have such an iconic figure in our state's history just come and speak to me. And I can tell you that 30 years later, sitting with him at the same table brings back those same emotions. It's just amazing what Governor Riley has done, and to be able to sit with him and still talk with him is certainly unbelievable. To David Wilkins, it's really amazing how the tapestries of all our lives run together. And I thought about this as Edie Rogers, Edie is here, came around the table earlier this evening. Edie and I, back in 1998, won our elections by a combined maybe 35, 36 votes. The House, I believe, was about 65, 59 Republican over Democrat. And Speaker Wilkins always told me the best vote I would ever cast would be the first vote. But I think back, and you know, what if Edie and I would have lost? How does that change the tapestry of our lives? And I was in a race so difficult, as Senator Graham said in the PD, that you never know ever if a Republican ever will win. But I can tell you that having worked so hard to get to the State House meant so much more to me when I could cast my first vote for David Wilkins, and he could go on to become, again, another iconic figure in our state. When elected Speaker a couple of months ago, I promised what I wanted to do most was to empower the members and create enthusiasm amongst our legislative body. I look forward to hearing to every single member's ideas, and I wanted to implement their reforms to better the lives of the people of the state of South Carolina. I can tell you last year was a very, very difficult time for the South Carolina House of Representatives. I see so many of my colleagues here tonight. I am humbled that they would put their faith in me and give me the opportunity to move the South Carolina House of Representatives forward. I'm confident this year that the South Carolina House will put the past behind us and get back to work. And I sincerely hope that I earn this award not so much by what I have done in the past, but I will do in the years to come. Let me tell you, it is again a tremendous honor for me to accept this award this evening with someone like Bill Barnett. I want to mention my wife, Tracy, of 25 years, who is with me this evening. She has been with me every step of the way. I could not have done this job without her. But Senator Graham again said, one thing about being from the PD in northeastern South Carolina is you're probably going to be the only Republican in the area. So what that taught me over the years was you needed to work with people and not against people. And you can get a whole lot further in your political life by being humble and being nice and listening to their ideas. Because at the end of the day, it's not your ideas that count. It's the collective ideas that the body can put together to advance South Carolina forward. And I'm looking forward to the next 2 years when we can truly put the past behind us and make South Carolina a better place for the citizens of our state. Thank you all so much.